Thanks everybody for joining me for this bonus episode of the PICO Drone Teardown series. For this series to be all three roles that were traditionally, particularly in larger manufacturers, separate roles for folks. In this instance, I was designing the process. In this instance, I was the manufacturing engineer rolling the process out. And then I was the operator who was the downhill recipient of my both good and bad work instructions. Particularly for smaller shops, when you do have multiple hats, one of the things that is necessary to think through is how you interact with your future self. So one of the things I found quite useful was to create the work instructions, walk through them maybe that day, and then come back the next day and walk through it. Where I didn't even understand my own interpretation of what a brace was or where the brace went, and then was able to create notes in our system to go back and iterate on that process to create a more concise set of work instructions. The other side of it, particularly on the work instruction creation, is if you are a verbose person, it's sometimes get carried away with adding too many descriptives into your process, because what you're really trying to do is be as concise as possible. Particularly if you have a newer operator, they don't need all the flowery words because it's just going to distract them. If you have an advanced operator, you don't want all the flowery words because it's just going to distract them on trying to understand both the nuances of perfecting the process and looking for any updates. It'll be distracting there. The other side of this, creating it for myself, was making sure I had all the right tools. There was a couple points where I wanted to use one of our other inlines, but didn't actually come down far enough to the right torque value. So I had to take that offline and go set up another torque inline. During the teardown process, I was able to use some tools because just zipping the screws back up. When I actually came back to controlling the process during the rebuild, I had to make sure I had the right tools in my hand to enable myself, in this instance, to get it without tearing out the screw path. Part of the lean philosophy is don't blame the operator. There were times I was really angry with myself for not doing the process right, or it was slowing me down, or some kind of frustration. And what I had to remember, both as the operator and the engineer, was actually it's my engineering side fault for not creating the right process for me as the operator side to follow and sequence that through. So really the lean philosophy is fix the process, not the person. It was really relevant here because I was wearing both hats as I was working my way through those challenges. Appreciate everybody joining me. I hope you all got something out of it. I found it quite a fascinating process to be on all parts of this, and then to also try and think about how it would be useful for folks to go forward with some of the manufacturing environments, particularly those that are in environments that are regulated, how this system would really interact with those tools, those work instructions, and then make sure they get good value coming off the traceability data. See y'all next time.